See, quite often we don't realise we're self-sabotaging because it's just the patterning and the programming we have that we've been given by our family, friends, culture. And we don't know we're self-sabotaging because others around us might be doing the same thing, and we grew up with it happening and we consider it normal. It's what you do. Even this is what you do, the thought doesn't come. It's just your interaction in the world in various ways. So until life starts to throw curveballs at you and things keep failing in front of you, unless you're watching what's going on and have a little bit of self-awareness, your life will just keep getting more and more confused and darker and shadowier and unhappier. So from my perspective, the game we're playing of finding the happiness and the joy within us and the love within us and what we actually are, which is all those things are a side effect of finding out who and what you actually are. Part of that, the big part of that is witnessing and observing and having a high observation ability and developing that so that you can see when you're self-sabotaging, or you can see something's gone wrong. You can see people are reacting in a strange way to you. You can see your life is not going in a direction that's creating happiness and joy for you and others. Some self-sabotaging is obvious, isn't it? You'll say something stupid at the wrong time and you knew better, and for some reason it just leaps out of your mouth. And it's too late to bring it back, and then you're wondering what happened there. What was that? Has everyone done that? Yeah. So that's an obvious self-sabotage, isn't it? It's like this thing just came out. I knew it was wrong. It was completely inappropriate. And these things just happen. So it's a matter of starting to catch these occurrences. That's an obvious one. But as I say, there's so many subtle ones that you may not be aware of that you're doing. We even self-sabotage in creating limits of how we can be in the world, how successful we can be, how happy we can be, how what partner we can attract, what our wealth levels. We can have limits on this without us even realizing, and most do. And in Australia, it can be the tall poppy syndrome can be a part of it. I want to stay in my little comfort zone here with my group of friends, and if I get too far ahead, there'll be jealousy, it'll be uncomfortable, there'll be backstabbing, there'll be gossip. I need to just stay in my pack. And that you may not have those thought processes, but that will be your default action just to fit in. Because you don't want any of that stuff going on in your life. So that's a form of self-sabotage. You're succumbing to lower consciousness behaviors, consciously or unconsciously, just to fit in. This is a self-sabotage. Because now you have to stay in a pack, and if the pack gets more ignorant, you get more ignorant. When the ignorance comes unhappiness, and you'll follow the group to unhappiness. So in that example, standing alone becomes so important, doesn't it? Who else has got some ideas on self-sabotage? How else have people done it? Maybe we can even talk about that today. What's one of the biggest things I do to self-sabotage? And then bear in mind, if you're self-sabotaging in the world, in your outer world, for sure you're doing it in your inner world, isn't it? I'm not good enough. I can't awaken to who I am, to what I am beyond the identity in this form that comes and goes. Beyond the thoughts, I can never stop my mind. This is such a hard thing to do. I'll never be able to achieve this. I'll never be a good meditator. These people that wake up are so far ahead of me. There's just so much I can't do. They just understand things I don't. All these thoughts are self-sabotage. Every time you compare with yourself with somebody and put yourself down over it, that's a self-sabotage. And I'm saying drop it all. You have to find it and drop it. And how do you find it? You become aware. You start to be mindful of your environment. You're constantly watching your environment. You're observing the world closely. You're observing your actions. You're looking for where your reactions are occurring. Essentially, anytime you react, you're self-sabotaging. Do you understand? Every time you close, like your heart's open, you're feeling good, someone says something or something happens, or you read something in the newspaper, or somebody at work says something you don't like, and if you contract and close, this is a form of self-sabotage also. This is a reaction, of course, but now your consciousness has gone from perhaps a much wider one to a shrunken one, a smaller one. And it all falls under the one umbrella of the whole problem, ignorance, isn't it? It's a form of ignorance. All suffering is ignorance, as the Buddha said. All suffering is ignorance. There's nothing outside of that. If you're suffering, there's some ignorance going on here. You're not understanding something clearly. You're not seeing clearly. This is the only problem. So then, okay, what is this ignorance I have? Where are my biases? Where are my beliefs? Where am I personally involved? Where am I special? Where am I unspecial? The ultimate self-sabotage is not to put all of your resources into hunting out ignorance within your system, because within the ignorance in your system, suffering follows. And the removal of ignorance in its many, many, many forms is happiness, joy, love. When all the rubbish is gone, there's just beauty. And people that are sensitive can feel it. It's not something that's untangible. For those that are sensitive and done a lot of emptying, it's obvious to them. They will feel it. And you will feel them. People that are awake know who's awake and who's not. They know who's making up stories and who's not. There's no getting away from that fact. Why? Because they've hunted out ignorance to the point where their system is so clean and so sensitive that it can feel, and even the slightest movement will be registered. The slightest uncomfortableness within their frame or the frames around them, it will be registered, and then it can be hunted and it can be explored, undone. So at that point, the game gets a lot easier. Once you start getting sensitive, the game gets a lot easier because you can start to feel movement instead of being trapped by it and driven by it and pushed around by it. You'll notice the movements before they become thoughts, and then the thoughts turn into action. You catch it way at the root. That's a part of what we're doing here, isn't it? We're just working at getting more and more sensitive. As we get more and more sensitive, our healing of ignorance accelerates exponentially. It just keeps accelerating. from my perspective, following our thoughts around unchecked and not letting them go, and just following them around like a small child can pull a very large bull around by a ring in its nose, yes, with a little piece of rope on it. This is what the mind does. So simply even following the mind around like a, this is also self-sabotage when you understand this properly. Not understanding you're not the mind is ignorance. It's important to know you're not the mind. You're not the mind. You're not the mind. You're not the body. They are here, but they're an and. There's something much deeper that we are, that has no coming and going. It's always still. It's always calm. It's always in the state of love. It's always in the state of beauty, and it's unmoving, and it's still and silent. And it doesn't matter what path you chose to get there. When you get there, it's the same thing for everybody, no matter what language, no matter what you look like, what color your skin is, anything like that, it ends up in the same place. It's not some untangible object. It's universal to all beings. Most beings don't have the capability to reach it. Humans do. And there are some other beings too. So we started on self-sabotage. Really, very quickly, you come to the witness. Very quickly, it's important for me to get you to the witness, because the witness is the only thing that's going to cure the self-sabotage and help you cure it. And discussing here, we can find where we're self-sabotaging, which we do a lot of. But first, you have to witness it. First, you have to know something went wrong.
Please like or subscribe if you found value. Meet Rohan via rohan.life.